Some foods don't get a funeral. They just quietly disappear. One day they're on every shelf, on every holiday table, in every lunchbox. And then years later, you go looking and they're simply gone, and half the people you mention them to look at you like you made them up. But you didn't. They were real. You can still taste them. Today we're bringing 15 of them back. Foods from your childhood that vanished, and the real reason each one left. See how many you remember. And I'll tell you now, number 5 predates the Oreo, and almost nobody believes it. It appeared at every holiday in the same cut glass bowl, canned fruit cocktail, mini marshmallows, shredded coconut, and whipped or sour cream, sometimes with maraschino cherries or pecans if your family was fancy. They called it a salad, which fooled no one. It was dessert wearing a disguise, and it sat right next to the real food. Popular from the early 1900s, clear through the 1980s, when canned fruit meant modern and convenient. Then fresh became king, sugar became the enemy, and ambrosia slid off the table. You'll still find it at a Southern reunion. Everywhere else, it's a memory in a glass bowl. This one was genuinely magic to a child. You poured one mix into a glass, and as it set in the refrigerator, it separated, all by itself, into 3 distinct layers: a creamy top, a fluffy mousse middle, and a firm Jell-O on the bottom. One box, 3 textures, introduced in 1969 and pulled in 1996. It disappeared partly because the modern kitchen it was built for, the one where a molded gelatin dessert was the height of sophistication, disappeared right along with it. Nobody has made a dessert layer itself by magic since. Thin slices of salty dried beef folded into a thick white gravy, ladled over toast. It came home from the war. Soldiers had a saltier, less printable name for it. And for a generation, it was pure comfort. It was also the meal that stretched the last few dollars of the month into something that fed everybody. Cheap, hot, filling, and made with love out of almost nothing. Your father or grandfather probably still gets quiet when he smells it. It didn't disappear because it was bad. It disappeared because we forgot how to be that thrifty. Now, the one nobody under 50 will believe. In the 1950s and 60s, the height of hosting was a shimmering gelatin mold, but not the fruity kind, the savory kind. Suspended inside the wobbling dome, sliced olives, shredded carrots, cubes of ham, sometimes whole hot dogs, or a hard-boiled egg floating in tomato aspic held together with mayonnaise. It signified wealth because a refrigerator and boxes of gelatin signified wealth. By the 1980s, taste caught up with us, and we quietly agreed to never speak of the meat Jell-O again. But Grandma has photos. Here's the one from the cold open. Everyone thinks Hydrox was the cheap knockoff of the Oreo. Everyone is wrong. Hydrox came first, 1908. The Oreo copied it 4 years later in 1912. For most of a century, the original was mistaken for the imitation. And in 1999, the real inventor finally lost and was discontinued. It came back in 2015, still fighting a reputation it never deserved. The chocolate was less sweet, a little tangier, and a certain kind of family swore by it. If that was your family, you already knew the truth. For a brief, strange moment, cola was clear. In 1992, Pepsi bet that Americans wanted a see-through cola with no caffeine and no coloring, and for a minute it worked. The ads were everywhere. The bottles looked like the future. Then people realized a cola that looks like water but tastes like cola is deeply confusing to the human brain, and by 1994 it was gone. 2 years, start to finish. It's been teased back a few times since, and every time people who were 9 years old in 1992 lose their minds. That's the power of a taste you can't get back. When the whole country was watching men fly to the moon, you could eat like them. Space food sticks were chewy, tube-shaped, vaguely chocolate energy sticks, sold on the promise that this was real astronaut food. To a kid in the early 70s, eating your snack out of a foil wrapper, because that's how they did it in space, was the coolest thing imaginable. When the space race magic faded in the 1980s, so did they. They were briefly revived for museum gift shops, because that's exactly where a piece of the space age belongs now. Before your parents let you have coffee, there was Postum, a hot drink made from roasted grain. No coffee, no caffeine, poured for the kids so they could sit at the table with a warm mug like the grown-ups. It had been around since 1895, a fixture in a certain kind of household for over a century. Then in 2007, the company simply stopped making it, and a lot of people lost the taste of their childhood mornings overnight. A small company bought the recipe and brought it back in 2012. Some things people refuse to let die. The can. That's what you remember first. The tall cardboard can and the orange dust that got on everything and would not come off your fingers for a week. Planters Cheez balls arrived in 1981 and were a lunchbox and party bowl staple until 2006, when they vanished with no warning. The outcry was loud enough that in 2018, 12 years later, Planters actually brought them back. Same can, same impossible orange dust. Proof that if enough people miss something loudly enough, it can come home. In 1987, riding the cartoon Ghostbusters, High C released a citrus drink the exact green of ghost slime, named after Slimer himself, and stamped his face on the box. It was supposed to be a movie tie-in that lasted a year. Kids loved the taste so much it outlived the cartoon by more than a decade, finally ending in 2001. It comes back for a few weeks whenever there's a new Ghostbusters movie, and it sells out every time. A generation still tastes their childhood in radioactive green. If you ask the internet which discontinued snack it wants back most, this one is always near the top. PB Crisps, a little peanut-shaped shell, crunchy on the outside, filled with soft, sweet peanut butter. They launched in 1992 and were gone within a few years, and people have been mourning them ever since. Full campaigns, petitions, grown adults describing the exact texture from memory 30 years later. Some snacks you eat. This one people have turned into a personality trait. It has never officially come back. By the late 90s, soda got loud. Surge arrived in 1997, neon green, aggressively caffeinated, marketed to teenage boys as fuel for doing something extreme. It burned bright and was gone by 2003. But here's the part that matters. The fans would not let go. They ran a grassroots campaign, a billboard near Coca-Cola's own headquarters, over 100,000 people online. And in 2014, they actually won. Coke brought it back. The customers, not the company, resurrected it. That almost never happens. Little spheres of Butterfinger, that crispy, flaky, peanut buttery center, rolled into a poppable ball and coated in chocolate. If you were a kid in the 90s, you remember Bart Simpson selling them. Nobody better lay a finger on my Butterfinger BBs. They had one fatal flaw. The chocolate coating melted the second it got warm, gluing the whole bag into one lump. They were discontinued in 2006, a perfect snack undone by physics. Every so often, a rumor of their return sweeps the internet, and every so often it breaks a few hearts. For a stretch in the 80s, your breakfast could have an attitude. Mr. T cereal, crunchy sweet corn and oat pieces shaped like the letter T, was made by Quaker from 1984 to 1993, sold entirely on the fame of one man and one catchphrase. It even showed up in a movie, poured into a bowl on screen. It tasted, by every honest account, almost exactly like Cap'n Crunch. But it wasn't about the taste. It was about eating breakfast with Mr. T, and for a 9-year-old in 1985, that was worth everything. And the last one isn't on any shelf, because it was never sold. It was the specific way your mother made the pot roast. Your grandmother's dressing that no one wrote down. The pie with the crust nobody has managed to copy since. These vanished too, not discontinued by a company, but lost the day the person who made them was gone, because the recipe lived in her hands and not on paper. That's the food you'd give anything to taste once more. Not because it was the best food in the world, because of whose kitchen it came from. 15 foods, some pulled by a company, some killed by changing taste, one lost with the person who made it. A few of them clawed their way back because enough people refused to forget. That's really what this channel is. people refusing to forget. So tell me, and I read every one, which of these do you miss the most? And which did I leave out? Somebody in the comments ate the exact thing you did. If this brought a taste back, subscribe. Next time, 15 skills every kid mastered before they were 12 that grown adults can't do today.